I am sure. God damn, has it been a long time? How do I remember if everything's working? I mean, looks promising. Maybe. There we go. Yeah, the thumbnail's a bit whack, but whatever. So yeah, today we're going to be building a new adventure. I've already worked on this one a little bit, but it's part of a bigger project with a magazine that's being put together. I think the first issue is supposed to be coming out next year, at the start of 2025. But yes, anyway, I saw an announcement video for this, and I was like, yes, I've got to get on this. So I joined. Going to be making a little mini adventure that's kind of incorporating the name of it. The name of the magazine is... Oh, I had it in my brain, and now it's just gone. Everyday Dragons. I said that before. I've pulled it up in front of me. Everyday Dragons. So yes, I'm going to be doing a little mini adventure called Dragon's Magnum Opus, which kind of came up with the name almost straight away, which usually never happens. But the whole idea of the one shot, I say one shot, I think it's going to be like maybe a short adventure. It's got 3 main arcs, so I expect it to maybe take 3-4 sessions, depending on, you know, how players play and such. But essentially, the whole vibe of the campaign, mini campaign, adventure, I'm not really sure what I'll call it. I'll be throwing out words here and there, but all of them mean the same thing in this context. The idea is that somewhere there is like a little getaway where a dragon has gone to what's the word here? There's a dragon that's gone to a certain place to kind of get away from society a little bit and spend some time trying to craft an art piece, his magnum opus, you could say. So I've already done a little bit of work on this, so kind of the start of the stream we'll just be throwing in some of the notes I've already made into the Foundry server, but that'll give an idea, that'll give some time to talk over some stuff, which should be fun. And I'll probably jump in the Discord as well, so people can jump in if they want. Not my Discord, but the Discord for the adventure. And also, I should probably put up some sort of thumbnail for the stream because it looks a little bit crap. Unless it'll auto-update with one after I've been going for a minute. No, it doesn't look like it will. Okay. I shall do that real quick. I'll... God's sake. Thank you. I can even remember how to do this. Oh no, the thumbnail has updated. Okay, that'll be fine. Whatever. Yeah, I'll jump in the Discord so I can hang out with people, because the whole idea of this is it's going to be collaborative, and one of my favourite parts of any campaign is getting everyone's backstories at the start of the campaign, putting them all together and kind of finding, ooh, this guy was once a soldier and this guy's currently a soldier, and you kind of draw those links together and figure out where they're coming from and how you're going to set the opening scene, tying it all together so it all makes some sort of logical sense, even if you've got 7 people that are completely different races and different characters coming from all corners of the earth. I really find it fun to try and find and pull those things in together. So whole idea is there's going to be a bunch of other creators on this magazine, and I'm trying to kind of draw them all in together. So I'll jump in the writer's room. That sounds accurate. What was I saying? Yes, anyway, so hopefully I'm going to be trying to pull in little bits that other people have made to put in the magazine into the adventure. So we got some people making some magic items, so I'm going to be pulling that kind of stuff in, and yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. It's about finding a way of kind of mixing and matching all of these different things into one thing, which is one of my favourite parts. It's like a little mystery you've got to solve, and I love doing that. But anyway, first things first, I've got a whole overview of this one, so usually I do the overview first. But as I've already done it, I'll write it down. So, I've already done a couple of other things, like I've written up a quick character creation, like running the adventure guide already, even though I don't know what the adventure is. I'm sure I'll be going back to it and changing it, but I've also come up with a pretty cool naming scheme that I'm quite happy with as well, which you'll see in a moment. So I've got to remember that this needs to be over here, otherwise people can't see it. So the first idea, chapter 1. So chapter 1 has the least amount of information at the moment, because chapter 1 for me, usually in short adventures, is everybody meets, you meet an important NPC, they tell you what you're doing, and and that's how it goes. So I'm imagining it in the moment. I might all change because we'll see what input we have from other creators into the magazine. But at the moment, I'm imagining players arrive in a town. Don't know the name of the town yet because there was also another creator who was going to make like a little, I think it was a travel log, so like a log of interesting things at a specific location. And like, you know, when you see this reviews online that are like, you know, you got to go visit this restaurant, best restaurant in town, etc., etc. So I think someone's putting together that, and it would be a cool idea if we could use that town for the adventure. But for now, don't know too much if that's, yeah, for now it's very much in the early stages, so I don't know who's on board and etc., etc. But initially, players arrive in town. Probably at the moment. My idea is I'll meet the mayor. The mayor will tell them about this dragon. Get them to help this dragon who's living. Yeah, I think this town, the way I envision it, this town is some sort of artist escape anyway. Like the town was built around this really lush, verdant, green, natural, like place, like a clearing or something, where the clearing is like based. Or not based, but it's like situated in between different biomes and plains. So like you can sit on this little clearing and you can get inspiration from the mountains that are over there, the forests, the swamps that are over there, the ocean that's over there, the desert that's over there. And there's like a really nice vantage point, and that's where people travel from all around to get to this little vantage point. So that's my thoughts. So. This so that's the idea. That's my idea, anyway, but we'll see what comes up with the travel log. Usually I go and start doing things afterwards. I cannot, like, to save my life. But my whole theme throughout the one shot is the mayor, or the CEO of the town. I don't know, this town might be set up as a business, but the mayor or the leader of the town will be some sort of. Well, I think I want to set him up as the BBUG. So this mayor initially may be happy that there's a dragon, all for it, like, whoa, dragon's going to bring in loads of press and stuff from around. But, you know, You know, dragons, they have a tendency to be very dangerous creatures that can cause mass destruction with the flick of a finger. This dragon, I want this dragon to be like super, super ancient, like really, really old. They've been sitting on piles and piles of endless treasure forever, and they're trying to find the one thing that's priceless. And, you know, art is priceless. People have heard that art can be priceless. So the dragon's trying to create a priceless piece of art to be the his Magnum Opus, the greatest achievement that he can crown his horde with before the end of his days or whatever. But the dragon, the mayor, I think the mayor's going to be the BBG and be trying to stop the group, because the mayor's going to be going down the thought process of like, shit, if this goes wrong, or not if this goes wrong, but like if the dragon makes this art piece, then it's got nothing left. It's just gonna, you know, do what dragons do, kill and burn everything. Or if it goes wrong, or something like that. So Maya's gonna be trying to stop this. So players meet NPC who tells them about the dragon. And that's essentially it. As I don't really have much of the rest of it yet, that's how most things are gonna. That's how most things are gonna start. Is you get to somewhere, you're informed of what it is you need to do, etc., etc. So in chapter 1, hopefully you'll meet the NPC and then you'll meet the dragon, and you'll be told of the dragon's first idea, which is chapter 2. Chapter 2, a sculpture. The sculpture of stone and scale. So for once I've come up with a naming scheme I'm pretty happy with. I've gone for each of the chapters, apart from the first one. It includes the medium of art that the players are trying to do, and a descriptive word for that art medium, and then a part of you know, a well-known part of a dragon. So stone and scale. Dragons are known for having scales. Sculptures can quite often be made out of stone, especially when you're a dragon. You can kind of do whatever you want, really. So the sculpture of stone and scale, as you can tell by the name, the dragon's first idea is some sort of sculpture, some sort of statue or design that's, you know, inspired from the grand statues of ancient kings and noblemen that they've seen throughout lands, etc., etc. So players need to gather. I want the players to, you know, their first quest is to gather the material that the dragon needs to sculpt this sculpture. So I'm thinking, you know, dragon's like, right, I need some, you know, a hoard of amethyst or something like this, some sort of material. Or like some sort of magical clay that's maybe in one of the biomes. So they're like, right. I'm fucking knackered. And they're like, right, okay, people, go get me this clay, essentially. So players need to gather some sort of material that the dragon needs for the sculpture. So I'm thinking, so I wanted to include at least one sort of encounter with each of these missions, so that it's kind of balanced. You'll have a little party with a dragon, kind of before and after, and then in the middle we'll slap an encounter. So for this one, I'm not sure if we'll have anything from the mayor yet, but I'm imagining, you know, wherever this material is, it'll probably be jealously guarded by some sorts of creatures. I was thinking probably this would probably be also in some sort of cave, small cave, which explains why the dragon can't just go and get it itself. For all of these, another explanation for why the dragon can't just do it itself is the fact that the dragon needs to sit there and absorb the inspiration that it's surrounded by. So the dragon's not going to leave because it's trying to think of ideas of how it wants to create its final art piece. Because there's one thing I always hate in adventures is when either A, the person that's asking you to do something could just fucking do it themselves, or B, when someone's asking you to do something for like no reason, like, you know, those one shots when you get to a town and a dude just comes up to you in the town and like, oh my god, we need you to save us. It's like, why us? There's a million other people. So I'm trying to like cut as much of that as possible by plot hook being the players heard about a dragon and they wanted to maybe see the dragon, speak to the dragon, as you know, dragons are quite rare and friendly ones probably even more so. Because I'm also thinking about making this dragon a chromatic dragon as well, so we'll see. But yeah, and also the other plot hook for the campaign is that when you're building a character, you gain proficiency in one of the artisan's tools, and you're encouraged to write something about artistic talent in your backstory, because that leads on to the magic items. So a fella has already made some of the magical items actually, which I can put them in now actually. Where's this man? Where's this dude? Dargov. So Dargov's made a nice couple of... Ooh. Oh dear. That did not come up on the right page. Anyway, he sent me a couple of examples actually. I can't do the main ones, but a couple of the artisan's tools. There's going to be like a magical item variation of them, which you can acquire in the game through some of the quests. Because I always feel like adding, you know, you add a little bit of everything, right? Some magic items, some new creatures, some new things here and there, just a new little bit of everything, you know, sprinkle across all of the different types of things. So this guy's put together some magic items. So first one, the sculptor, wondrous item, rare, requires attunement. A set of mason's tools can be used as a magical focus. If you have proficiency in tools, they increase your spellcasting DC by 1. Once per day, you can use the tools to cast stone skin without material components. While the special version of Stone Skin is active, the target also enjoys rock hard abs, a chiseled jaw, granting advantage on charisma checks. That was the first one he sent me through, and I was like, yes, that was brilliant. You know, there's actual mechanical advantages, so it's you know, appeals to people that like having just stats. There's a cool little RP thing, which is the charisma checks, and the descriptor of having rock hard abs and a chiseled jaw. Love that. It's nice because it kind of gives a bit of a place for everyone, well, for most players in there, which I think is brilliant. So I mean, for that one in particular, the sculptor, we could probably just slap that one in the first, you know, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to incorporate finding them, but sculptor's tools, you could probably find that on the first mission, where you're going down to the caves, finding some sculpting tools. Maybe there's another NPC that you meet down in the caves who's an ex-artist or something like that. Yeah, I got a bit sidetracked. I don't really know how I got let onto that. Let me go back. Chapter 2. So yeah, we'll have one encounter, some sort of creature that's guarding the materials that the dragon wants. And once they have the materials, so I haven't really planned out how the whole making an art piece thing works. I think I'll slap some mechanics on it and give some guidance and reference for the DM who's running the campaign, so that it's not just, here, read this script off when the dragon's creating the sculpture. But I might do that as well. I might offer two ways, because I'm seeing this adventure as like I want to try and make it accessible to new players and old players, new players, old DMs. Sorry, new DMs, old DMs, etc., etc. There's also maybe a chance of doing it in different editions as well. So I'm trying to make it flexible, because this magazine, it's not a D&D magazine, it's just a TTRPG magazine. So it's kind of, hopefully we're trying to hit a broad audience. So I haven't got exactly what's going to happen in the dragon creating the art piece scene, but I've got some idea of why the dragon is going to be displeased with this particular sculpture. So it's going to be too set in stone, too rigid, and changing. The dragon shouldn't do much spontaneous creativity during the making process. So yeah, I'm thinking dragon makes a sculpture. They're a bit they're not very happy, because it was a very linear process for them. Obviously it doesn't change after you've made the sculpture. It's stuck, it's set in stone, it's unchanging, it's not what the dragon is looking for. So the dragon then decides to go for a musical piece. Chapter 3. Symphony of Flames and Frequency. This one was my favourite chapter name, the Symphony of Flames and Frequency. I love that one. We're going to have to figure out a way. We need to have like chapter cards so that the players and the DMs can all appreciate one time I've got a good naming scheme for something. Right. So, off the back of first art piece being too set in stone, dragon starts searching for something that's a bit more ever-changing, a bit more adaptable, something that can string along and flow together. Oh, lovely. He's just given me access to that document. Can I open it in the same place? Oh, lovely. Okay, sweet. Well, I've got access to those magic items, so I'll have a look through them, because they seem pretty cool. He's put together a bunch of them. Just seeing if the tools are in here or not. Some of these are pretty cool. I love how he's got stuff in every category. He's got gauntlets, boots, hats, robes, belts and bags, books, staffs, wands, armors, medium armors, dark ice weapons, layers. It's very organized. This is awesome. Medium armor. Artist implements. Ah, yes. So he's only put 3 together at the moment, but we can put them in at the end. That's a cool little list. I'll have a proper read through it later. But these are pretty cool. Artist implements. So yeah, so far we've got the sculptor, the calligrapher's supplies, and the master brush. Anyway, back to chapter 2. No, chapter 3, the symphony of flames and frequencies. So yeah, the dragon, after having something that's all set in stone, I want something that's more, music. It's a lot more flowing. It's a lot more. If you want to throw an extra note in on the second verse, you can just do it, and it's more improv. So the dragon looks for a symphony of flames and frequency. So looking for a way to compose a piece of music. So for this one, I've got a lot of different ideas. Like, we could go for the same one as the first one, which is like, go find a piece of paper that we could use to write down the musical notes. You need a special piece of paper. I think that one's a bit lame. But we could also go for I was thinking maybe some sort of, the players need to take like a recording stone to a local tavern, where there's some sort of like a tavern brawl, or they need to support they need to support the band on stage or something. I'm not quite sure about the encounter for this one. If I'm being honest, I think I could go. We could go for maybe like a bunch of RP encounters with 1 or 2 combat encounters. We could go for a bunch of RP and some combat encounters where I kind of like the idea where the dragon gives them like a recording stone or a sending stone, and they have to travel out to places to like record specific sounds or record specific sounds or like environmental noises or something like that. Kind of like that idea, to be honest. Like a couple of shorter, more rapid fire encounters. Quite like that idea. But yeah, I think this one. I think there's a lot of things that you could do for this one, like the tavern brawls, or I like the you could do tavern brawls, supporting players on stage, recording the sounds of a swamp, or maybe the the sounds of a cavernous underworld or something. Definitely something we could do with that. Anyway, encounter, we can always work on that one later. Either way, after they come back from the encounter, for this one, forming this art piece, I've got some more ideas of maybe the players could be part of the dragon's band as they're trying to play music together, but I'm not sure. We'll think about that part later as well. But for now, they'll get back. The dragon will perform this artistic piece, but the dragon's again not happy. The music, it's not like it's not substantial enough. It's not like real, and it's fleeting. Like, you perform it and it's gone. There's no real visuals to it. Lack of something you can just look at and admire with the eyes. So Dragon's a little bit upset with that medium of art as well. So they're like, okay, not so happy with that one. They have another think. And then they go on to chapter 4. A canvas of horns and hues. Quite happy with that one. The sculpture of stone and scale was the first one I came up with, and that just led me into the naming scheme of the other two, and I was like, yes, this is brilliant. So, Dragon takes what he's learnt from the sculpture and the music, and he's like, right, I want something I can see, but also something that I can add to and change. And if I want to do a purple tree, I could do it, but something that's a little bit more diverse. So they turn to painting. So again, for the encounter, for this one, I'm a bit unsure. I'm like, it could be again, go and find this specific pigment that I need to do this specific thing. Or again, now kind of thinking of the idea for the sounds one, the music piece, it could be go to these different places and take pictures for me. Maybe the dragon will take them to those different places. But the dragon wants pictures from all angles the dragon can do, from the sky and from towering above the ground, but it can't do from a person's perspective, or maybe an ant's perspective if you've got a druid or whatever like that. So we could do something like that again, but if we're already doing that for the second one, I mean, we can leave it as an option, but I'd like not to do the same thing for 2. My other thought was, dragon needs a special pigment. Or like a tool, they need a special brush, etc, etc. Special brush actually came off the guy who made items, told me about the Noseur's pigments, which is something that I did not know existed, but it's a pretty cool magic item. Here we go. Oh. Pretty cool magic item. I've never seen before. Marvelous pigments, not Noseur's pigments. So you find a little box with some paints in, and it's left to cover 1,000 square feet, which is quite a lot. Lets you create an inanimate object or terrain. So basically you can paint an image on something, and when you complete the painting, the object or terrain feature depicted becomes real, non-magical object. So you literally paint, because my idea for this one is, I don't know if anyone's ever played Drawn to Life on the DS back in the day. I used to love that game. But my idea was something like that, and this item kind of fits that quite well. So nothing created can have a value greater than 25 GP. Don't know how that works. If you're painting a forest, you're getting into the value of wood and stuff, but hey ho. Looks authentic if you paint like diamonds and stuff. So yeah, that was a pretty cool magic item. Obviously, as it's a homebrew thing, we can't like if it's an official item, we can't just be like yeah, put it in, because that's Oh, no singular thing. Interesting. Anyway, we can't just put this in a homebrew one shot, because then Wizards will be like, no, and I'll take it down. But something like this is a really cool idea. I mean, the fact that they've already done it means that, we'll essentially be copying it, but, the fact that I thought of Drawn to Life and implementing that originally without knowing that there was a magic item for it bears no real significance on the laws of copyright, unfortunately. But still, something like that would be a really cool idea. So, the dragon needs something. Again, they want something for this encounter. And do some encounters around it. Then I didn't actually write any reasons why the dragon disliked this one, but I don't think it particularly needed to, because after doing this one, Realize. Can't spell when I'm thinking, honestly. So the dragon realizes after it's done the painting that it's liked specific things from each art medium. I've written some down here already. So it thinks on the journey that it's taken to create these art pieces, and it liked some part of how the sculpting was solid. It liked how it was there, and it was physical, it was present. It wasn't like an image like the painting, it wasn't 2D, it was actually, it had substance to it. I liked how the music had like deep emotions and how it connected it all together, and it deeply moved the dragon, the power of the music and how it brings together life and creates a harmony and a shared experience, etc, etc. And also like the free spontaneity of the painting, how you can capture the imagination so perfectly with such like a versatile freedom of expression, how it captures a moment, a specific moment in time, and you know how it speaks 1,000 words. So Dragon realizes that its only hope is to bring together all of these mediums of art. So again, I've already written this. I'll just copy paste it to save me writing it out again. So things on its journey. Yeah. So that's my idea. I swear that's how you spell realizes. My foundry set to like American or something. Maybe. So yes, chapter 4. I like that chapter 4. It's good. And then chapter 5. The Magnum Opus. The final creation, the grandest achievement. I can't remember actually what it actually means. Something like that, is it not? A work of art, music, or literature that is regarded as the most important or best work of that artist. Yes, so the greatest achievement. That's what I thought it meant. So, again, Dragon combines all these mediums of art into one grand masterpiece. So, I think some of the other encounters after chapter 2, chapter 3 and chapter 4, some of the encounters will be involving the mayor or the BBG, whoever the BBG ends up being. So chapter 3, chapter 4. The mayor will be getting involved with them. Yeah, it is an American because it's got colours wrong. Unless. Yeah, no, that is okay. Yeah, my American foundry's just in US, whatever. It's at the end of the world. Where was I? Yes. So, chapter 2 and 3 will have some. Chapter 2 will have a brief introduction of the mayor, learning that he might be not so supportive of the goals of the dragon. Chapter 4 will be like okay, he's seriously trying to stop us quite heavily. And then chapter 5, I want the main encounter to be the players defending the dragon as it creates its final art piece from maybe some villagers or like some mercenaries that the mayor's hired to kind of stop this happening. So a couple of waves of units, and then either the mayor or like I'm thinking like a mercenary, like a dragon hunter, like a dragon slayer or something like a guy with a dragon slayer sword or something like that. Like a guy who's the boss, the final boss of the campaign. He's going to be in this encounter and do it over a couple of waves. First wave, some body units. Second wave, some of the units. So it's not so much to deal with all at once for maybe newer DMs, but also it's more than just one singular fight with one wave of enemies, and there's not so much to think about. And so yeah, the players defend the dragon. It's creating its final art piece. The dragon can't be distracted, or it's not going to stop making its art piece, right? No matter what happens. So they've got to defend the dragon. As they're defending the dragon, any any damage or hits that the dragon might take from the people, I want it to try and be reflected in the art piece. So add a way how the DM can do this. Maybe the dragon takes a hit of psychic energy, and maybe the sky is spread with spider webs of purple, like brain neuron patterns or something like this. So yeah. I just came up with the mercenaries and the dragon hunter idea now, but I think that's a pretty cool idea. I don't really want it to be against the townsfolk, because that's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't like the idea of just killing innocent townsfolk who are trying to help themselves. So mercenaries, I think, would be a nice in between. So then, obviously, I will be including 3 endings. So, ending 1, the best ending. So I'm going to use so I'm saying the best ending. It might not be the best technical ending, but it will be the ending that you get when everything goes right. So, ending 1, the best one. Middle 1, and then ending 3 will be what happens if shit hits the fan and the dragon slayer slays the dragon. Or maybe 4, maybe it's not the worst ending, but there's like a middle between the middle and the worst. I don't know. We'll think about that when we get there. But yeah. Ooh. Oh man. Oh, I'm tired today. Ooh. Man. Yeah. That's the layout for the adventure. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Right. I'll bring up my self-hosted copy of Foundry. Anyway, yes, that's... So yeah, that's the overall layout of the adventure. Obviously there's so much more to include, but now that we've got an overview, good place to start. So you've got a clear idea of kind of, beginning, middle, and end. It's a nice place to begin, and then it gives you a good basis to work off, and you can start branching it out with spider webs. Right. So so it stays on the screen because I'm going to be getting rid of this now. and we will go through. Again, this is just going over stuff that I've already created, but for the adventure, I have put together a start here section. So, start here. This is the thing you'll open up when you download the adventure module on Foundry, or maybe this is what we'll include snippets of in the adventure in the magazine itself, perhaps. But first page is just a welcome. Welcome to the Dragon's Magnum Opus. So obviously these aren't here anymore, so I'll have to add these in. So this is a story, and then I'll have NPC journal. So this is how I like to set my one-shots up. You can see kind of a mix of these two is how I like to do them. So for the Midnight Menagerie, I've got a document for the NPCs, I've got the story itself, and then I've got an additional environmental fight effects document. And I usually like to throw in another document which is like miscellaneous locations, so locations that don't really show up in a specific sequence of events. So yes, we've got NPCs, which will be, there we go. Maps and handouts. Don't have any maps and handouts yet. Most of them will be collaborative, pulled in through from other creators, hopefully, because my map creation is not quite at the level where I'll be comfortable publishing it in a magazine. And then for this one as well, I want DM tips and tricks, because again, trying to broaden. Well, it would be GM, because you can't use DM. Yeah, all of this is initial go-overs, and everything will be getting fully checked over once I'm happy with that. Is that gonna pull it up? Perfect. Everything will be getting fairly checked over, obviously, but as I'm creating, I don't like to have to sit here and think about what's going to get copyrighted and what isn't, so I just do, and then later on I will fix. So I like it. Anyway, so we've got the welcome, which will be all the socials. None of these socials are actually correct. I just put them there because I imagine those will be the socials that we have. And then in the campaign overview, I'll do like a little short story, what the campaign's about, what you can find inside here, and credits. So myself and all the other creators will put credits in here, maybe links to their socials as well, and a bit of how to use this book. So yep, that's the first one. That is the welcome. And then running the adventure. Character creation. So I've included a section on a guide for creating a character, specifically for this campaign, but as I was making it, I was like, this might just be useful to just have. But I've made one specifically for this campaign. We'll just kind of see how it goes. Right, so anyway, character creation. Boom, there we go. So this one is so yeah, we got starting levels, so it's going to be a 5th level adventure, I think. That's kind of what we agreed on, but it can't imagine it'll change, but you never know, really. Why is that working like that? Why is it not expanding properly? That's irritating. So yeah, explaining how different stat generation methods work. So standard array, point by or rolling, and then when you're making a choice, consider, maybe the players all want to roll, so maybe just making them all use a standard array might be a bad idea, etc., etc. And also it depends on the tone of adventure as well. Like, a lot of short adventures and one-shots I love to roll because it just adds to the chaos, and I just find that fun. But for a lot of people, especially if you're newer, you might want to just go with a standard array because then it takes out an element of guesswork a little bit, in the sense that the people aren't going to be showing up with 24s in their stats at level 5, or I know you can't do that, but it's an example. And then yeah, it just talks through races, backgrounds, and a bit of like why you might want to pick one or the other. Classes, talks about play styles, and all that kind of stuff. Subclasses, so obviously it's level 5, so you'll have your subclass. Starting equipment, so I feel like for this one I am just going to say just starting equipment, because for normal DMs that takes out players coming to me like, oh, can I have this Wand of Power World Kill? Look, it's only a common magic item. I feel like that takes that out for newer DMs, and if you're an experienced DM, if you read through the adventure, you can be to your players, right, okay, you could all have an uncommon magic item. If you're an experienced DM, then it works like that. So I feel like that's quite a good balance, good way of doing it. So yeah, talk about personalities, how to build a player to player backstory. Backstories are really useful, especially for one shots, because they give you stuff to talk about, especially because most one shots your characters don't know each other, and specifically the players don't know the other characters, so having a backstory is good because it gives you more stuff to roleplay off and talk about, as in campaigns as well. And then yeah, you want to review players' character sheets, and then players want to go over their character sheets, make sure that everything is as it should be, and then usually people hand them into the DM so the DM can go over them and check that they don't have that Wand of Power Word Kill. So we've got character creation, we've got a bit of a section on running the adventure as well. Running the adventure, which should be here actually. Running the adventure, character creation, and then I'm going to do one on session 0 as well, but it was floated around that might be something that someone's already doing, so I'm going to just kind of leave that one blank and empty, as if someone else is doing it, that's one less thing for me to do, and we can just throw their guide in here. Joys of collaboration. Right. So that finally there is the overview of everything that I've made up until this point. So yeah, we've got the session 0, we've got the story, and that's all I've built so far. Just got a little bit carried away, to be honest. I was kind of like, okay, I want to just do this, so I just sat down in the afternoon. I just wrote it all together, and I was in the zone, so I didn't pop on the stream or anything. But yeah, going forward, I'll probably be streaming most of the creation process. Fortunately, working with a lot of people who are like America-based, so might not be able to stream it as much as I would like, but I'll try and get most of it in, and we'll see how it goes. Either way, I'm going to go and grab some lunch, and I will be back. Do I just end the stream, or do I just go on the BRB? I'll end the stream. Nobody's here. In case somebody tunes in as I'm ending it, I'll be back